Welcome back to the deep dive. Our job is to take the world's most compelling, high-impact information and, well, give you the ultimate shortcut to being well-informed.
And today we're tackling a source that is truly a global phenomenon.
It really is. We are diving deep into a book that it's been translated into over 80 languages, sold more than 65 million copies. We're talking about The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
It's an extraordinary reach, and that tells you something, right? This isn't just another popular novel. It's become a kind of repository of profound universal wisdom that people are clearly seeking out all over the world.
Exactly. So our mission here is tailored just for you. We've pulled out the core insights, the plot points, and the whole philosophical framework of the story so you can get why it has such enduring power.
And the context is key. Coelho published this back in 1988. He presented it as this, rich blend of adventure, mysticism, and self-discovery.
It's really an argument, isn't it, for following your dreams?
It is. It's a very direct argument for that, and an exploration of how the universe is all interconnected.
So let's start where the journey itself starts. We meet our protagonist, Santiago. He's a young Spanish shepherd, and he's comfortable.
Very comfortable. He's got his flock. He knows the routes. Life is routine.
But that stability gets shattered by a recurring dream, a very vivid dream. And he starts to realize that, comfort has its limits and maybe something bigger is calling him.
That dream is the classic call to adventure. It's the signal that kicks off the whole story. It tells him the treasure he's supposed to be looking for isn't just gold, it's a whole new path for his life.
And that really sets up our first major theme, which is defining that purpose, that personal legend.
Right.
The dream itself is what drives him. A child leads him to a hidden treasure buried somewhere near the Egyptian pyramids.
It's a completely irrational instruction, which is why he has to seek guidance. He goes to a fortune teller first. But the really pivotal encounter, the moment the dream becomes philosophy, is when he meets a man named Melchizedek.
The king of Salem.
The king of Salem, yeah.
Yeah.
This mysterious, almost mythic figure.
And he's really the mentor, isn't he? He's the one who lays out the whole philosophical blueprint for the book.
He is. He introduces this core concept, the personal legend.
Which is what exactly?
Coelho defines it as your true purpose in life, your destiny. And Melchizedek's point is that everyone knows what their personal legend is when they're young. The hard part is having the courage to actually pursue it.
And what I find so interesting is that he doesn't just give Santiago advice, he gives him tools.
Yes, Urim and Thummim.
These two stones.
Exactly, one black and one white. They're meant to help Santiago interpret omens when he gets stuck.
Yeah.
He can ask a yes or no question.
It's almost like a cosmic coin flip.
It is. It symbolizes it. Sometimes you have to get past your own rational mind and just trust your intuition or trust the universe to guide you.
And that's the push he needs to make this absolutely terrifying decision to sell his entire flock.
Everything.
Yeah.
He sells his past, his security, his whole predictable future. He liquidates his comfort in exchange for this distant hope and sets off for Tangier in Morocco. And that sacrifice is the first critical step.
So you'd think after a massive commitment like that, he'd get some kind of immediate reward.
You would think.
But the universe just throws a massive punch right back at him.
The moment he steps onto that new continent, he is immediately tested.
Yeah, welcome to destiny. He gets to Tangier full of hope and almost instantly gets robbed of every single coin he has.
The whole quest just seems completely derailed before it's even really started.
But this failure it's one of the most important parts of the book.
It's a huge turning point. Because instead of giving up and going home, he chooses to survive. He's forced to develop this resilience.
And his solution is to go work for a crystal merchant, which feels like such a strange detour, doesn't it?
It seems mundane, but it is anything but. The crystal merchant isn't just a boss. He's a cautionary tale.
How so?
Well, the merchant has his own personal legend, his own dream. He wants to make the pilgrimage to Mecca, but he never goes.
He's afraid.
He's paralyzed by the fear of change and also the fear of what might happen if he actually achieves his dream. What would he have left to live for? He prefers the comfort of the dream to the risk of reality.
And ironically, it's Santiago who makes the man's business thrive. He suggests new ideas, like selling tea in the crystal glasses.
Right, because Santiago is actively engaging with his own legend, even in this small way. He's learning that the biggest obstacle isn't a lack of money or distance. It's that paralyzing fear that holds so many people back, just like it held the merchant.
So Santiago recoups all his money, and instead of going back to his old life, he doubles down on the quest.
And that's when he meets the next key figure, An Englishman who's also crossing the desert.
Right, the one who's obsessed with alchemy.
Exactly. This Englishman is searching for a real-life alchemist who supposedly lives at an oasis. He's studying how to turn base metals into literal gold.
So the Englishman is looking for an external transformation. Gold.
Precisely. And Santiago is about to begin his internal one. The Englishman is the bridge to that ultimate metaphor.
So he joins the caravan, heads into the Sahara toward the Al Fayoum oasis, and this is where things get really spiritual.
Yeah, he's not thinking about profit anymore. He's thinking about destiny.
And then, when he finally gets to the oasis, the human element comes roaring back. He meets Fatima.
And he falls completely in love. Instantly.
This is a huge test. I mean, if the whole point is to keep moving forward, love is probably the biggest temptation to just stop, to settle.
It's the ultimate temptation.
Yeah.
But this is where the book makes one of its most profound points about love.
What's that?
That true love doesn't hinder your personal legend. It supports it. Fatima understands that if Santiago stays for her, he'll eventually resent giving up his dream.
And she would resent him for it.
Exactly. So she encourages him to go on, promising to wait for him. It's this incredible act of sacrifice, of loving his true self.
That's a powerful idea. And from there, his intuition just gets sharper and sharper until he finally meets the alchemist himself.
The ultimate guide. And the alchemist's teachings are all about spiritual refinement. He teaches Santiago how to hear the language of the universe.
So if we had to distill those teachings, what are the key takeaways?
I'd say it's twofold. First, learn to listen to your heart and tell the difference between its true guidance and its fears.
Okay.
And second, he has to learn to harness what Coelho calls the soul of the world. This unifying spiritual energy that connects everything. People, the desert, the stars, everything.
This is that famous line, right? When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
That's the one. And the alchemist forces him to prove it. They get captured by a warring tribe. And the alchemist says that Santiago can turn himself into the wind to prove his power.
An impossible test.
It seems that way. But it forces Santiago to communicate directly with the desert, the wind, the sun. He has this total spiritual awakening where he realizes he's not separate from the world, he's a part of its soul. And that is the true alchemy.
The transformation of the self.
Far more valuable than turning lead into gold.
Okay, so let's try to synthesize all of this. When you step back from the story, what are the, say, 3 key interwoven themes here?
Number 1 is definitely pursuing your dreams, the personal legend. The idea that the universe really is on your side, but you have to have the courage to take the first step.
And then number 2 would be listening to omens and intuition, learning to read the signs the universe is giving you.
Right. It's about trusting that guidance over just pure rational planning.
And the third?
Love and sacrifice. That profound idea that true love never asks you to give up your destiny. It actually amplifies it.
Which brings us back to that central metaphor, alchemy.
Exactly. It's not about literal gold. The transformation of base metal into gold is just a stand-in for transforming the base self, that fearful, comfortable shepherd, into an enlightened person who understands the soul of the world.
And the book's style makes all of this so accessible. It's a really quick read, written like a simple fable.
That simplicity is why it has such universal appeal. The themes resonate with everyone, no matter their culture. It's a blueprint for life, packaged as an adventure story.
So, after all this, Santiago finally arrives at the Egyptian pyramids, the goal he's been working toward for years. He's ready to find his treasure.
And this is where Coelho delivers the perfect final twist. Santiago starts digging where his dream told him to, but he finds nothing. Instead, he gets robbed and beaten again.
And as they're beating him, one of the thieves actually scoffs at him.
He does. He says he's not foolish enough to cross a desert because of a dream. He says he had a recurring dream about a treasure buried in an abandoned church in Spain.
The exact spot where Santiago's journey began. The treasure was back home the whole time.
It was, which leaves us with a really powerful final question for you to think about. He went all that way, suffered so much, just to find out the treasure was where he started.
So why did he have to go to Egypt at all? Why couldn't the universe just tell him where to dig?
Well, think about it. If he'd found the treasure on day one, he would have just been a shepherd with a lot of gold. But because he undertook the journey, guided by his personal legend, by the omens, by the soul of the world, he was transformed.
He became the person capable of finding it.
He became the alchemist. The journey wasn't to the treasure. The journey was the treasure. And that's something to mull over as you pursue your own legend.